All right. Gonna record a quick 2026 season 2 plans video. So, as you might have seen in the 2026 season 1 recap video, the short, kind of the short summary of what I plan to do is I'm gonna run Next Road and Legends Road Cup for my participation credits, and then I'm gonna pick one of a assortment of other series to occupy the last of my $2 that I need to pick up. It's probably gonna be something Dirt Road, might be Dirt Oval, might do Dirt Legends again. I've done that in the past. I don't remember how long ago it's been since I've done a season of Dirt Legends, so it'll just kind of come up, kind of toss up in the air as to what I do from that standpoint. Otherwise, it's basically just gonna be what do I need to run to hunt down kind of a track every week or so. My goal again this season is 13 tracks. If we look at the uh, kind of list here, let's assume this is 27. Would potentially be 28 if I need to complete Barber since it's been redone, but we'll just have to see on that front. If that ends up being the case, but I have at least somewhat accounted for it in all my various little lists here as to what goes where. But I think it's going to be easiest to kind of look at what I'm calling my hunting list. This is a new thing I'm at least putting up for this season to get an idea of what to do here. So I've got this gold, silver, bronze tier system with some other stuff scattered about. For most of the tracks I can complete here, this is 21 of those aforementioned 28, which if I were to somehow complete all of these would mean I have 7 remaining at the conclusion of this season. So we'll start off with week number 1 of that kind of system there. We've got Indy Next, IndyCar, MX5s, and GT3s all taking on the streets of St. Petersburg. I guess Grand Prix of St. Petersburg, part of it is an airport. Let's give that airport its credit. Las Vegas is going to be taken on by the Advanced Legends series. Obviously, I had a decent bit of success in my last 2 oval starts last season in the Legends car. So, I'll certainly be looking to maybe pick one up at Vegas. There, we'll just have to see. And then IMSA's taking on Silverstone. This is a track that's going to see a good bit of use as you kind of see looking down here, and a lot of opportunity for me to pick it up. So it's kind of one of the bigger tracks, more popular tracks that I can pick up over the course of the season. So week 2, this is where IndyCar and Indy Next will be going to Barber, the newly re-scanned, updated art and everything. Barber, Georgina is there. Then we've got Legends GR86 and the Mustang GT4 Challenge series will take on St. Petersburg. Figured this would be a good one to get on the Legends Road Cup schedule since it's a street track, it's new, it's different, it's fun. People have been kind of talking about it. And then the Legends and late models will be going to the Bull Ring in week 2. That's the second of 2 weeks I could potentially pick up new tracks in the Legends car. So I figured it was fitting to kind of put it as the bottom step of my try to win podium here. For week 3, IMSA is at Hockenheim. Felt like this was a good opportunity for me to hop behind the LMP2 if I haven't already at the likes of Silverstone, maybe. Work my way through that. PCC is at St. Petersburg. Maybe hop out in the Clio. Maybe run some MX5s or something at St. Pete. That could be a good bit of fun. And then F4s at Barber. I really only put that at that step because I didn't expect to want to run cup cars at Vegas or any of the other oval stuff going on that week. Maybe sneak into Indy cars at Pocono or Indy cars at Texas. Now that I'm seeing those, that might sound a little bit more appealing, but I want to try to clear out as many of these road courses as possible. We'll just have to see kind of what happens that week in particular. We'll just have to see even what happens with Barber in particular. 5 flags. Week 4 is kind of tough for me. If we look at my weekly calendar here, this is broadcast coverage. This is broadcast coverage. This is all broadcast coverage. So I'm hurting for time. Obviously, can't be perfect, but Indy Next and Sprint Cars are at 5 flags. This would be the opportunity to pick that track up. Can't imagine it's going to be super, super popular in either of these, but I mean, you gotta try, right? So There's that. TCRs, the newly refreshed TCRs, I haven't given those a go just yet, but I'd really like to try those. Donington seems like a good shot to maybe give some of those a rip. And then the IndyCar Oval Series will be at Las Vegas. It's kind of the fill there. Otherwise, Super Formula is at Hockenheim. I haven't driven the Super Formula much, if at all, so I don't really have much of a context for it, so I didn't put that on the top of the list there. Week 5, Junior Open Wheel Oval Challenge will be going to Rockingham. Um, so for those that don't know, a couple seasons ago we had actually, this would have been pre-Rockingham refresh, I believe. We had requested we run Rockingham for the schedule, and they told us that they couldn't get a setup that worked because the car would bottom out all over the track and do weird stuff, right? We proposed Bristol this season. They then told us that they could have a setup that worked at Bristol for the same reasons and proposed to us that we run Rockingham. I'm assuming it's because the new scan of Rockingham is smoother, which is something I've kind of pieced together thinking about it and talking to people about it. But that's at the top of this list for week 5. Then you've got GT3 IMSA Vintage at Donington. Going to try to make the comeback and win GT3s at Donington. Ferrari 296 and GT3 is also at Mugello. I'm assuming one of these is the Europe Tour. One of them is the main one. I don't label the F4 GT3 things. It's kind of just implied. If it's not the main series, it's the regional tour of whatever region the track is in. If we work into week number 6, Indy next, the Oval Series will take on Darlington. We're the only series aside from the NASCAR stuff that's going to run Darlington this season. Figure this is a good time to try to get that one scratched off. We've got Legends Road Cup taking on Silverstone National. That'll be that one. And then the IndyCar Oval Series takes on Kentucky. That's the only series running Kentucky all season. Figure that's the opportunity to take it if I'm going to take it. You've got the likes of 87s at Vegas, at Spec Racer Ford and F4 at Mugello, SRX, New Smyrna, Pocono, and the Lowe's 49. Zolder in the F4. This is one of the only opportunities to pick up Zolder this season. So if I somehow clear through these, that might be the one I gravitate towards amongst all of them. We'll just have to see. Week 7. This is a fun one. There's only 3 things that I really have my eye on in week 7. You see kind of scattered off to the right here. I've got Tour Mods at Stafford and a bunch of stuff at Texas. But MX5s will run Willow Springs. They're the only series running Willow Springs next season. I had this one circled on my calendar last season, but they slipped it and replaced it with, I believe, either Miami or Adelaide, which I guess if it was Adelaide, I'm glad they substituted it, at least in that case, because I managed to get a win at Adelaide through that. But TCR Super Formulas will be running Silverstone. I believe TCRs are going to be using the national layout, just like Legends Road Cup did the week prior. So if I need to come back and pick that one up, that'd be a good opportunity to do that. And then F4 is at St. Pete. I really hope by that point I just have it figured out because it's being run in USF the week prior. That might be one of my few USF appearances if I opt to make one. Actually, well, I'm going to opt to make one, but that'd probably be one of the first opportunities I make if I look kind of at the schedule for USF, actually. Navarro, I'm not super interested in. I believe this is going to be Road Atlanta short. Not super interested in that. I've never been a big fan of the USF on ovals in particular. Phoenix is one of the better ones. It's still pretty packed up, though. Long Beach is a good bit of fun in that car. Obviously, Lime Rock Park. So, yeah, I think St. Pete would probably be the first opportunity that I'd have to properly plant myself in. I'd maybe show up for Okayama Short or Oren Park. Those are kind of the other standout ones to me, anyway. But yeah, if we move into week 8, GT3s at Silverstone, Porsche Cup at Donington, super late models at Five Flags, just not a whole lot of options in week 8. Week 9, we've got the IndyCar Oval Series will take on Nashville Super Speedway. Still kind of iffy as to whether or not this is going to race the greatest. It's kind of screwy in seasons gone by of recent note in terms of how in terms of how it races. You got Spec Racer Ford at Barber and then the Radical SR10 at Silverstone. Haven't touched the Radical, but it beats out the F4 any day of the week. I don't really want to run street stocks at the Bull Ring or late models at Five Flags. Those just don't sound like particularly a great time. Week 10, have exactly 3 options. We've got Legends at Mugello, the short configuration Ferrari 296 will take on Silverstone, and then the SK Modifieds are at New Smyrna, one of only 2 series running that in Season 2. We'll see. I'm likely going to be focused on Legends that week. Just have to wait and see. BMW M Power, Rainmaster, and GT3 will be at St. Pete in week 11. GTEs and Lotus 79s will take on Silverstone, and then the Mission R is at Mugello in week 11. We've got super late models at Myrtle Beach. Again, just have to see what's kind of already taken care of by this point. You got SK Mods at Stafford for week 12. This is kind of the highlight, as this is one of the few opportunities Stafford's going to get used, and there's just not a ton otherwise to do unless I want to run an F4 at Hockenheim. Or sorry, yeah, F4 at Hockenheim. This is skewed, I believe. Yeah, this needs to be up. There we go. Arca Pocono super late model is the only thing running. New Phoenix, so that'd be the shot to do New Phoenix in season 2 here. And then Cups Xfinity trucks are at Nashville. That's pretty much that. And then if we kind of go back and look at this here, I'm gonna likely skip Portimao and Sebring for Indy Next Road. Rest of the weeks I would plan to run, as by and large all these tracks look like a good time to me, and I'd rather just get the races in and not necessarily have to worry about maybe squeaking one in late in the season if I don't have to. And that's pretty much it for that. I'm going to do it for 2026 season 2 plans. It's basically just whatever do I opt to fill that kind of last spot with in terms of my participation credit series, in terms of full-time stuff, and then anything else. I'm just going to kind of run what I've got. Obviously, I've got a bit more of a specific list here, kind of showing off everything, but there's just only so much I can tackle at a given time. I feel like if I can maybe tick off 1 track a week, maybe 2 in a couple weeks, then we're in good run of form to hopefully close this challenge out come the end of the 2026 iRacing calendar. Just have to wait and see kind of how things shape up in later seasons as to what will remain in terms of tracks and cars and whatever else that I get myself up into. So appreciate you for watching. We'll catch you in the next video, which will hopefully be something that's not just track challenge stuff. I want to try to get at least one of the multitudes of ideas I've had kicking around out here on the interwebs. Have a good one, everybody.